Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Casper Network, aka CSPR, so let's just dive in. And today we are going to be talking about how much 10,000 Casper will be worth. I'm going to go over a few market cap potentials. I'm also going to talk about, things leading up to that, market cap potential being really targeted. I will address a lot of things around that. But first, I do want to go over a few statistics. So one, the amount of holders. So we are sitting at about 35,000 holders. I do expect this to increase significantly. One of the coins that I talked about in the past, QNT, Quant, I still talk about it, but that's a coin that didn't really have a lot of holders up until around roughly the summer of 2022. And as everything was flatlined, Quant defied all odds, started to skyrocket in value, and then we've seen the holders really change. We start to see the holders actually, drastically increase by 2 times. So the holders actually doubled. I do think that we will see the holders for Casper double, triple, and at some point in time quadruple in the amount. And I think that's going to happen, slowly but surely. And I think that as we do look at what's happening around Casper, I think that we are starting to see ecosystem expansion. I think that we are seeing a lot of adoption for Casper as well. And it's only a matter of time until we start to see the holders really kind of accumulate in numbers. Now, also, the accounts created per day, this is on average of around roughly 122 going all the way back to March 2021, which is also this is why I say we are so early, because, we're only seeing roughly about 100 plus accounts being created per day. And sometimes not even that. We are seeing sub, 102. So as we do look at how early we are on Casper, and as we do look at the vast ecosystem, I think that this is one of those gems that are it's so overlooked. And that's very beneficial for anyone that is an early holder of it. That's why I've been accumulating Casper so heavily. It's been my #1 holder forever now. And it's probably going to continue to be that, because I'm looking at this and I'm just the only other coin that I've seen so far have the same exact sentiment around it was ADA before it started to break out, which I will talk about in this video as well. But we do see over here as well, in the last 14 deploys, we are starting to see a lot of deployment over on Casper and some significant volume at some times. This is a $20,000 delegation, which again, that's just staking. But there's a few things that I've been noticing around the deploys. Some of it is, yes, delegating and staking and things like that. But we've also been seeing a lot of transfers and a lot of network use. For an example, Kevin Cage actually posted this over on Twitter, and we do see Casper. Check this out. WASM deploys WebAssembly smart contracts deployments. So these are smart contract deployments. Check this out. You can see this. This is 35 million, 65 million, 25 million, 40 million, 40 million, 80 million, 40 million, 40 million, 70 million, 70 plus million. This is the amount of Casper that's being deployed here, and we can see the amounts. This is $1 million plus, $3 million. I mean, almost $4 million down here. So this is wild. So I wonder what this is. Is this those NFTs that are being minted with IPW? What's going on here? Is this enterprise grade adoption? We have no idea. But it wouldn't surprise me if we are starting to see enterprises adopt some of these networks like we've seen with Hedera. HBAR has been one, that was also extremely overlooked for so long, even during 2021's bull run. And now we are starting to see people really kind of take notice of it because of the overall adoption of the network. We've also started to see a lot of partnerships. We started to see a lot more marketing from Hedera. It's only a matter of time, in my opinion, like I said, until these networks really start to gauge with the overall community. And once we start to see retail really looking into these tokens and buying these tokens and really kind of, seeing the value behind these tokens, that's when it's usually too late. So, for those that are early right now, that are ahead of the curve, if you will, we're going to really reap the rewards. And I'm so excited for the future around Casper, because I do think that we are still very, very early on what Casper is doing. Now, also, I did see over here, Casper is working hard to improve the ecosystem and the adoption of blockchain technology. We're meeting builders where they are around the world. We've launched a new developer portal to support developers and innovators. And listen closely here.
Well, it's great to be here at the relevant industry events. For the next year and a half, the goal of the Casper Association is really to broaden its appeal to the developer community. So we made it a lot easier to discover Casper for developers with the developer portal, and that is the main target for us at these big events.
So yeah, I do think that developers are going to significantly increase on Casper, which is where we will start to see more DeFi use cases and just use cases in general being built out on Casper. I'm so excited for a lot more projects to go live on Casper. It's been one of the things that I've been watching for a while, because although yes, the ecosystem has been growing quite a bit, I'm still looking for more and more projects to go live on Casper so that we can see the ecosystem expand even more and more. Because right now, currently speaking, if we actually go over here to, I think it's over here on the community tab. I might be wrong. Let's go over to Scansper. So over here, they do have the ecosystem here. So overall, there is still quite a bit of projects within the ecosystem itself. But I do want to see more and more like DeFi use cases and even NFT use cases, things like that are really kind of, I don't want to say pertaining to the retail sector, but also that's beneficial for those that are holding Casper. And, yes, we already have the incentivization of, staking Casper. I just want to see a lot more, use cases built out for the retail sector, as well as even the enterprise grade sector. So, that's going to happen in time. I do believe so. There's already a lot of DeFi happening on Casper. We've started to see this expand rapidly. Nucleus Finance is one of the most interesting ones that is coming soon. We've been focused on Nucleus Finance for a while. And then also, like, there is gaming. There's a lot of gaming things that are happening with Robot Cache, for an example. We've broken them down in the past. I do think that a lot of this is still in the working, as you guys do see, like, coming soon. But I do think that once this does launch, it's going to be very exciting to watch it go fully live. But also in the real world of things, yes, finance is a big focus. And we do see over here from Anthony Scaramucci, 2 things in finance are broken: overhead and transparency. Blockchain solves this. So glad we had amazing entrepreneurs working to rebuild our financial system. And if you guys do see, yes, a lot of these are leaders around the financial space, but we also do see Casper Labs there, really kind of discussing the idea of the overall benefit of utilizing something like Casper for, just finance. And here is the video for it. It's about 1 minute and 9 seconds long. And we do see, as a result of blockchain making financial systems more secure, another big thing is to watch the ability to add liquidity and things that were not previously, to watch is the ability to add liquidity to things that were not previously liquid. And we need to see, think about Porsche. Their patent portfolio value exceeds their market cap, something that couldn't previously be monetized, and now it is. Dito to patents, land deeds, art, and more are other good examples. And also, yeah, like, as we do look at Porsche, we've broken down their patent portfolio, their IP portfolio. With Casper, you can monetize that. And that's a huge deal to a lot of these companies that have, portfolios centered around patents that are exceeding their market cap. But listen closely.
Very bullish. I agree with everything that's been said so far, so I won't repeat that. Just to add one more point. So as a result of blockchain making financial systems much more secure in a cheaper manner, as well as much more transparent, I think one of the biggest effects we'll see is something that Dr. Lipton talked about, which is things that were once illiquid can now become liquid. And a really good example is what we did with IPV. So as an idea, we helped IPV build this patent marketplace. And if you think about it, Porsche, for example, the value of their patent portfolio, sometimes some people say probably exceeds their market capitalization. So there's this massive set of illiquid assets, in this case patents, that exist that are not being monetized or reconciled appropriately. And so I think that's going to be huge. So whether it's patents, land deeds, art, I do think things that are technically thought of as illiquid are going to become highly liquid going forward. It'll be interesting.
Well, as far as
And yeah, I do think that as we really kind of look at what's happening around IPV with Casper, that's a very significant use case. But also outside of this, you also have Actus. We do see over here, the tokenization market is heating up. By 2030, the tokenization market is projected to grow, unlocking liquidity, security, and cost reduction. And we do see down here, to unlock the full potential of tokenization, we believe the Actus standard could bring about a true revolution in the future of finance. Algorithmic contract types unified standards is a computational algorithmic standard for describing financial contracts and their cash flows over time. This is why Casper is leading the way in the implementation of Actus. And yeah, I do think that this is right on par with their overall goal to tokenize. Even if you look at the stock market, right? I do think that the stock market will be tokenized at some point in time. A lot of what we are seeing right now around tokenization is you know, the idea of like, where can we implement it? What can we do with it? And how large can it be? It's in the hundreds of trillions of dollars. It's so vast in terms of the potential of tokenization. So as we do look at that, yeah, I do think that these networks that are centered out on it, that are creating standards and becoming the standard around it, I think that they are going to be very, very not only valuable in the future, but also they're going to be very large as a name. So I'm very excited for that. And I think that Casper is one of those names. And let's dive in. Let's talk about the value of Casper. So I did say over here, I'm so bullish on Casper as it's truly an underdog in this market right now. Anyone that remembers ADA before it got shilled to oblivion in 2021 knows how fast things can change. I strongly believe that Casper is in a similar situation to ADA pre-2021. So yeah, let's look into a few things. So as we look at ADA today, ADA still holds a very large valuation. $12.7 billion in market cap is nothing to write off. I think that that's a very vast market cap, considering the fact that we are still very well in a bear market, if you will. And as we do look at Casper right now, Casper's not even inching towards, you know, $1 billion. It's at $500 million. So if you think about that, like, you know, we still have a long ways to go. And you know, as we do look at the all-time highs for some of these tokens, like we don't really have a strong all-time high for Casper because this was an ICO price. But most people go off of $1.33. And I do think that $1.33 is a good area to look at. Also $1.37, anywhere within that area is fine. And as we do look at ADA, we know ADA's market cap at its all-time high was pretty significant considering the fact that it did hold an all-time high of about roughly $3.10. Now, I went back historically and looked at some of these all-time highs. I also looked at the time frame on this. So here we have the all-time high. It's about roughly $3.15 over on Binance, but it does not really matter. The reason why I'm looking at Casper is because we actually have a little bit of a very interesting story here. So here's the ICO pricing. It's about roughly $1.36. When you look at ADA, its all-time high back here in 2017, 2018 was about $1.40. Right on par with where Casper is now. Now, it did take roughly from its all-time high, from its time that it topped out to the bottom, which was March of 2020, about 798 days. We are coming up on 798 days. In fact, July 19th of this year will be 798 days. You know, are we going to come down and create an all-time low for Casper again and just kind of go sideways and then kind of build up? You know, who knows, right? I'm not here to tell you guys what's going to happen with the price action on Casper. I think that Casper actually looks pretty strong here. I think that we might have already have seen our bottom in on Casper, but I might be wrong. Who knows, right? But as we look at Casper and as we look at ADA, I do think, like I said, these are still very two tokens that I've been watching for a while and kind of comparing because they are very similar in a way. Now, as we look at ADA and as we look at the time frame on both of these, you know, if we are going to follow the same exact, you know, standard in terms of what ADA did in terms of the time frame, you know, to the bottom all the way to the top, then we will be seeing Casper top around roughly January 1st, 2025. That's the exact time frame if we do follow it, which I highly doubt that we do. I'm just trying to give you guys a little bit of a time frame on this. But who knows, right? Like within the next 2 years, things can change rapidly around this market. Liquidity can change. It could change overnight. Who knows what will happen? All I am here to do is talk to you guys about what the price of Casper will be and how much 10,000 Casper will be worth. So I have a full breakdown over here of a few interesting things. And if you guys want, I could actually make this larger. That way, you know, you guys can really see what I'm, you know, really kind of going off of here. So current market cap of ADA, if Casper had that, we would be about $1.16 per Casper. ADA all-time high market cap, we would be sitting at about roughly $9.41. This is why I say, like, Casper has significant upside potential. Also, Dogecoin, current market cap, 93 cents for Casper, almost $1. Dogecoin market cap, all-time high, $9.36. Shiba Inu, current, 47 cents, roughly about a half a dollar. All-time high, $4.22. Now, I also went back and looked at HBAR's market cap at its all-time high. Yes, I went back to what the tokenomics were at that time as well. About $5.5 billion in market cap, 57 cents for Casper. Now, to me, I don't believe that we only go to 57 cents. I don't believe that we only go to 47 cents. And I also don't believe that we only go to 93 cents. I think that Casper is going to go to at least $1 in price point. So 10,000 Casper will essentially be worth $10,000. But as we look at it today, like Casper, if you wanted to buy 10,000 Casper today, it would cost you $495. So $495 turning into $10,000, that's a pretty significant win in my opinion. But also, if we go off of some of these other market cap potentials, I have 10 billion, 25, 50, 75, and $100 billion. The big question is, do you think that Casper is actually worth $100 billion in market cap, or $75 billion in market cap, or even $50 billion in market cap? It's questionable, right? But could it go to those market caps? 100%. We have seen things go to astronomical market caps off of just speculation alone and hype. Dogecoin and Shiba Inu are two tokens that, in my opinion, should not even be worth the price that they are today. But the reason why they are is because of speculation and hype. So if we look at Casper, do I think that Casper could go to $10 billion in market cap? 100%. Do I think that it could be worth $25 billion in market cap? 100%. Do I think that it could go to $50 billion in market cap? Yes. But this is where I start to say, okay, you know, what's going to actually take it to $50 billion in market cap? Because there's going to need to be a significant amount of hype. I will say this. When we look at Casper, right, there's still a lot of listing opportunity for Casper that could ultimately, you know, push the value much higher. Because again, you know, when we do see listings on like Binance and stuff, there's a lot of hype. There's a lot of hype. Also partnerships. There's a lot of NDAs with Casper. There could be a lot of hype. So that hype could definitely generate $50 billion in market cap. Is it going to 100% happen though? It's questionable. I do think that $2.27 is definitely fair. I think that that's a fair area. And again, at $2.27, then guess what? Your $500 investment becomes a $22,700 investment, which is a significant gain. I mean, a $2.27 Casper is something that I could see happening. And that is a very, very significant difference in price from today. Now, at $50 billion in market cap, I could still see $4.54 being a possibility, but it's questionable on if it's going to go to a $50 billion in market cap area, because again, like a lot of these tokens don't really hit $50 billion in market cap, you know, off of its first run. And a lot of people think like, you know, Casper already had a run. It didn't. You know, this is all ICO pricing back here. So this never had a bull run. And with all of the price that we've seen so far, you know, I do think on the next run up, it will be a very significant run. You know, who knows where it will go. I know that this goes to like $280 up here, but it's not going to go there. But I could possibly see it going, you know, to, you know, $2 plus. And, you know, when we have something that goes sideways like this, where it just kind of builds sideways, you know, usually when it does break out, it does have a significant breakout. So I'm still watching this closely. I'm still, you know, trying to gauge on where we will go. I'm kind of going off of the valuations that we have with like IPW with a $7 to $10 billion NFT, you know, deployment on Casper, which is still a very significant amount of value. So if you think about that, like $7 to $10 billion for a NFT deployment on a network that's not even worth $1 billion, like that's huge. So if we look at that and actually gauge that, you know, do I think that $10 billion in market cap will happen? Yeah. I think that $1 in for Casper is going to happen. I just don't see how it doesn't. But you know, the big question is, okay, like once we get past $1, like where does it really go? Because a lot of people have been saying like, you know, $3, $4, $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, $10 for Casper. And a $10 Casper is definitely possible. I mean, like that's $100 billion in market cap. A lot of these tokens in the top 10, top 15, and even the top 20 have hit near $100 billion in market cap. But it's very, very hard to do that without an astronomical amount of speculation and hype. So if we're looking at things, I would say a safe market valuation for Casper would be anywhere between 10 to $25 billion in market cap. And that's me being very conservative. I could see it still going to $30 billion in market cap, $40 billion in market cap, and even $50 billion in market cap. But it definitely does demand a lot of hype and a lot of substance and a lot, and I mean a lot of substance. So, you know, if we are going to speculate, we could speculate all day, but there needs to be a lot of hype and a lot of substance there. So with that being said, how much will 10,000 Casper be worth? Well, I would argue that it will most likely be within $10,000 to $30,000 within the next major run up. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe to notifications on if you guys have more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. So it's up to you all. Have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are on this beautiful world. That's been Nick. Peace out, guys.